Welcome back to NC Grass Plugs. I am Paul, and today we are knocking out another maintenance item on this Zoysia lawn. It is going to be a herbicide application. It's actually a combination of two herbicides to combat the Bermudagrass that is invading our Zoysia. Now this is something you're going to want to apply about every 28 days from June or July until the grass goes dormant. A couple years of this process and you should have pretty good control of your Bermudagrass. However, in some cases you'll never get rid of it. You'll suppress it and knock it down to the dirt, and over that 28 days it just kind of grows back and you knock it back again. So it keeps it in check at the very least and kills it at the very best. Let's go take a look at the lawn, show you some of the weed pressure we have, and then we're going to come back and discuss some of the herbicide rules and things you need to know that are very important. So let's go take a look. There's a Bermuda seed head, and if you look closely you can see a whole lot of them throughout my lawn. If you can see the seed heads and the fuzziness of the common Bermuda. Alright, this is where we dropped some El Toro plugs along the road here a couple weeks ago. Now all of these big fluffy weeds along the road here are goosegrass, and if you look down in here you can see all of this here is Bermudagrass. There's big patches of it everywhere. See here in the yard, no mowing for about 6 days. It's still holding beautiful stripes, excellent gorgeous color. All right, so what we have today are two herbicides behind me, and due to the sun glare I don't think you can see them too well. Triclopyr 4, also known as Turflon Ester in its previous versions, is not safe to use on Zoysia by itself. We also have Fluazifop in the form of Fusilade II. You can also use Ornamec in this case. It's called Ornamec over the top. It's a lower concentration of Fluazifop. I'll give you those rates down in the video description. Now that is also a herbicide that is not safe to use on Zoysia alone. But when these two are combined, it creates a safening effect for your Zoysia grass. What weeds are controlled with this combination? Crabgrass, Bermudagrass, barnyard grass, field sandbur, foxtail, goosegrass, Johnson grass, poison ivy, poison oak, sumac, medic thistle, burdock clover, curly dock, dandelion, oxalis, lespedeza, plantain, ragweed, vetch, and pretty much anything that starts with wild like onion, garlic, violet. So those are some of the things that it's going to control. But there's something else that's really important that you need to know about Triclopyr. Triclopyr can kill trees. Well, there's a couple things that you want to really avoid when applying Triclopyr. Number one is really high humidity, and number two is lack of a breeze. Those two things missing from your spray program cause a very high likeliness that this chemical will volatilize into the air. That cloud will move over into a tree, and that humidity will kind of make it stick, and guess what? Dead trees. I have not had that happen. I've tried to follow these rules, but nobody's perfect. So be forewarned, Triclopyr can kill trees. What else do we have? We're going to need a methylated seed oil at 1/2 ounce per gallon. And that means 1/2 ounce of MSO per gallon of water in your spray tank. So if you got a 4-gallon tank, you'll just need 2 ounces. Now the rates on the Triclopyr, let me get my cheat sheet here. We have Triclopyr is going to be 28.6 ounces to the acre. That comes out to 0.66 ounces per 1,000 square feet. Fusilade II is 5.2 ounces per acre, or 0.12 ounces per 1,000 square feet. When you mix these things up, it's probably going to be easiest if you mix a minimum of 4 gallons at the time. That way you can get you a measuring device that shows you like ½ ounce to an ounce. Each one of these here holds 5 ounces. You can get it down to tablespoons, teaspoons, ½ ounce increments, milliliters. So you can kind of get pretty daggone close with this guy here, which is what I use. Now let's mix this up and spray the first 4,000 square feet using it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 0.48 ounces of Fusilade II, almost 2.7 ounces of Triclopyr, and 2 ounces of Methylated Seed Oil. Top it off with water and mix. Make sure that when you apply this, you use something like the 110 red TeeJet tip, which is the 110 fan spray, smaller droplet size, because you want this herbicide combination to land on the leaf of the plant. All right, and just like that, we have knocked out the first 4,000 square feet. I've got about 10 or 11,000 square feet left to do, and I'll bring you updates on the next video. But first, let's take a look at these plugs and give you an update on the grow-in process on both projects. Here's the update on the compadre plugs that we did, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks ago. These guys are growing like crazy. All right, you can see down here in the bottom of the ditch, the big fat plugs are what we added, the El Toro. Had a lot of weeds growing in. A lot of this goose grass we sprayed yesterday when I made this video. These plugs are actually looking really good. They are about double the size that they were a week ago when we put these in. We're getting some pretty good stolons running, but this is a harsh environment up here by the road. It stays really dry. The ground is extremely hard. And a ton of goosegrass up here, and a ton of Bermudagrass from the bottom of the ditch up. Stay tuned for the video I'm making today. We're gonna get a mow on this lawn, and we are gonna put out some plant growth regulator and our fertilizer,